Hello. Hello and welcome to the EBSCON 2024. I'm Daniel, your friendly host. And who was here last year? Raise your hand just for a feeling. Good. Over there, of course. I'd like to remind you of a beautiful tradition we had many moons ago when we used to do events all the time. When someone would come on stage, we would rhythmically put our hands together, creating a quite nice noise. You might want to try that. There we go. Thank you very much. I like that. Now, hello. Here's the deal. When someone goes on stage, you applaud as loud as you can. That's the benefit of the doubt. Then they do what they do, and then it's up to you if you want to applaud a second time. So far, so good? That's the part where you nod. Yes, that's GDPR conform. Marvelous. Oh, this is going to be a fun day, I can tell. No, I'm just kidding. Now, we're going to move on, and we very much believe in your knowledge and your know-how and your abilities, and for that, I'd like to introduce my favorite tool. It's called Slido. And what I'd like you to do now is actually grab out your phones, pull out your phones now, and scan this beautiful QR code, because Slido is going to give you the ability to interact with us on stage and ask questions throughout the day. So this is your voice. I'll do the same. I know it's looking weird doing this. There we go. Hang on. I'll do it here. It's not working. And then you go to Slido, and then you can start asking the first questions. And the question here is, by the way, this is very important, you can select your rooms. Now you go there. If it's not working, go to slido.com #EBSCON24. And the first question is, where are you traveling from to attend EBSCON 2024? Where are you traveling from to attend EBSCON 2024? Graz. Okay, good. Well, that's obvious. Villach, Neutorga, that's very specific, I like that. Vienna, the Netherlands, Treufach, Steins, Wien, Ljubljana, Carinthia, St. Bartolomea, Andritz, Neutorgasse. So we see there's a strong Graz and Klagenfurt focus. Delft, the Netherlands. Einer großen Stadt an der Mur. Ja, I see what you did there. Auf die ich nicht näher eingehen möchte. Also die große Stadt an der Mur. Ich kenne mich aus. Okay, good. So Torino, there you go. Maribor, wow. Dresden, that's also good. So I can see this is already working quite well. 80 of you have gone so far. That's good. So we see a strong Graz and region focus. Now, the next question we'd like to ask you, that's coming up now, is how important is networking at EBSCON 2024 for you? Oh yeah, that's how polls work. I actually studied market research. So 61% of you say it's very important. I'm assuming 5 is the highest. I hope so. No, it is. And 60% of you say it's very high. Interestingly, 1% is currently, that's not very important at all. I don't like people. I just have to be here. That's okay. That's a nice one. Okay, about 8% of you say, well, I kind of have to do it. I'm paid for that. Don't like it. Well, I just smile at random people. But that means at least 60% of you actually say, it's good to be here, and I'm very open for conversation. This is great. So again, Slido is going to be used throughout today, during every keynote. And here's the deal. During the keynotes, you can ask questions. You can read these questions, and the ones you think are good, you can upvote, or your own questions. And after every session, I'm going to do the Q&A with the people on stage. So those are your chances to interact throughout the day, as I said. So that's a good way. Slido seems to be working, and that's good. Now, we've got to know you, but you probably also noticed that I'm kind of okay-ish at getting you to clap. I'm okay-ish at getting information out of your nose, but what I haven't done so far is I actually haven't really welcomed you, because that's not really my core competence. But there's someone else who actually can do that really well, and we'll get him on stage now, and he's the CEO of the SILICON ALPS Cluster. Here's Robert Querer. Welcome on stage, Robert.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
It's so good to be here. It's so good to see you. You're well?
Great to see you again. Yeah.
It's fantastic. Look, the topic for today, well, it's curiosity, right? And it's a beautiful word, but the topic for today was actually started last year, and it all started with Sabine Herrlichka and a loud laugh.
Yeah.
Tell us.
She was giggling. She said, I have a challenge for you. So maybe you think of taking curiosity as a challenge for the next EBSCON. And we took the challenge. And it was great.
And so it all started last year here, and Sabine also apparently said, yeah, curiosity can take us quite a long way. We'll get to that. Oh, do you want to say it? She said it earlier in the press conference.
Yes, yes. As we could hear, for those who weren't in the press conference, it started with a doctoral thesis, and it ended up in all our mobile phones, at least every second mobile phone we have with 4-5 microphones in it, have silicium microphones in them. And it all started with the doctoral thesis.
And that's the beauty. One single curious mind can change the whole outcome of industries or maybe even the world. And I'd like to look into your curious mind, because also now a little conversation. You mentioned that you have a tendency of liking to take things apart.
Yes.
Ever since being a child.
Yep.
And that in 1976 you were given a cassette recorder and decided that thing has more potential.
Yes.
Talk us through that.
At that time, as you all can remember, we had that tiny cassettes, and video recorders had the big things. And I was wondering, how could it be possible to, get the video signal also on a tiny thing? Of course, since I was 8 years old, I didn't have the knowledge because I hadn't studied at the university before. And so I had some weird success with it. So I got some signals on the TV, but they didn't look like what I was expecting. But I tried hard.
How did your parents react to you taking things apart?
When I found out that I like to take things apart, for me the best Christmas presents were things that I could take apart. So, and that was always happening.
And did you get them back together again as well? Were you able to put them back together again?
Yes, so especially electronics things I put together again. So mechanical things I didn't put together again, so I let them stay apart as they were, like typewriters.
Okay, fair enough. But talk us further. Your curiosity stayed and led you a little further, also into even smaller parts and even more intricate abilities. Tell us about your career there.
Yeah, when I studied computer engineering at the University of Technology Graz, I very suddenly switched into the field of medical device engineering, and then I came to life science. And at that time, at the end of the 90s, something really new came up. It was, the first analogs of human insulin produced by a partner company, and they needed in Austria, the first 3 volunteers to take part in a clinical trial. And then, you were a little bit worried about what would happen with your body, because it was the first time, such a molecule was completely artificially built. So, you were a little bit nervous, but a good part of our group took place in a clinical trial themselves, me including.
And did you survive?
Yeah, I survived. I didn't get a 6th finger, as you see. So everything is okay.
But I mean, I just have to ask, like, volunteering for medical tests, were you a little nervous?
Yes, of course.
But you still went like, okay, above and beyond, I got to find this out.
Yeah.
Who of you would volunteer in medical tests, just out of interest? So that's being really curious. It's going, so 4.75% of you say, great, we've got something set up outside. It's going to be amazing. No, I'm just kidding. But tell us even a little further. This was kind of also the beginning of quite an interesting journey.
Yeah.
Direction of insulin.
Yes, yes. It was quite interesting part, because we then were not just working on medical devices. We were working on the development of drugs, the testing of drugs, but now I'm back, to my roots, computer engineering, electronics, here in the cluster, and I think today we will see a lot of magic.
And that's a beautiful word. Robert, it was a pleasure having you on stage. We'll have a lot of time together throughout the day. And you just mentioned the beautiful word of magic, because our next speaker on stage, thank you very much, Robert, has probably one of the longest titles, and we re-Christianed it last year. I'll give you the first title. He's of the Federal Ministry for Climate Action, Environment, Energy, Mobility, Innovation and Technology. And last year we just said, okay, from now on we're simply going to call it the Ministry of Magic. Welcome on stage, Michael Wiesmüller. Welcome on stage, Michael.
Thanks a lot. Well, I can't remember having got such a charming introduction as you did. Thanks a lot, Ministry of Magic. Esteemed regional minister, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues and guests, I've prepared a little introduction so that I don't speak too long. It's my honor, real honor, to welcome you here in the name of the ministry with the longest name in Europe, the Climate Ministry. You can call it Climate Ministry at this EBSCON conference. Well, no doubt we are living in times where it's becoming more and more evident that the importance of a cluster cannot be overstated. It's not just a geographical concentration of companies and academic institutions, but it's about ecosystems. It's about interactions of different stakeholders. It's about ideas, meeting opportunities, problem setters and problem solvers. So this is very important that we have started some years ago to more think in systemic ways, thinking more into ecosystems, and a cluster, and your cluster definitely is among those configurations. As we gather here, we can say we find ourselves at the heart of an industry that is not only about technological progress, but it's somehow fundamental reshaping the landscape in various other industries. This industry, just let us remind us of this concept, this industry is a gatekeeper, a stakeholder of what we call, or they have called, key enabling technologies. Key enabling technologies. Technologies which enable other topics, which are not only valuable as their own, but they are valuable for others for in this enabling function. As you have followed by the media and the outlines of the next the European Commission, the speeches of President von der Leyen, as you have seen from recent reports of Mario Draghi, the role of competitiveness in Europe is back on stage. And this is a very important element for not only for Europe, but also for this cluster. It's a call for the cluster as well. By pooling resources, sharing our knowledge, and leveraging our collective expertise, we can address these challenges, the challenge of competitiveness, and seize the opportunities that lay ahead. More on the national level, I would say, one of those central opportunities or challenges, more practical, has been a successful participation of Austrian community, Austrian ecosystem in one of the largest and most demanding program for this industry in the history of the European Union. I'm speaking of the European Chips Act. One of the key elements of this act involves the establishment of a national competence center. And I'm very pleased that after so many months and weeks, after discussions filled with uncertainties, some emotions, a well-coordinated Austrian consortium will be launched soon, hopefully. And in this consortium, the cluster will have an important role. So this is, I think it's a very important step that this cluster becomes more internationally positioned, that the visibility of our soil, the visibility of our ecosystem is more well known in Europe. The topic of this conference, curiosity, is a very, very nice one. I really like it. It may also reflect on kind of collective commitment from academic side, from the side of industry or research organization to harness the power that electronic and software-based systems may have as a key technology. Just another small aspect I wanted to mention as we navigate through the complexity of digital transformation. It's, I think, important that we also have an eye on ethical considerations and the social impact of our technological advancement. Our responsibility is a little bit more than only economic success. It should ensure that the benefits of our innovations reach all corners of our society. As we kick off this conference, I would like to invite each of you to engage fully, share your insights, your challenge assumptions, and of course build partnerships. We have seen on this geographical landscape participations coming from all regions of Austria and beyond. Last word to my ministry and a little bit this call for commitment. Of course, I have to say that we just recently had elections, as all of you know, and subject to the political decisions about and formation of new government. Subject to this, I can reassure you that our ministry, the section I'm working in, is very much committed to the programs, to the instruments that we have, and that we strongly push to even further enforce programs and measures that we have here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for the contributions that you will make. I'm very much looking forward to the discussions. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Michael Wiesmüller. And we'll keep you on stage. We'll keep you on stage because we've got Barbara Eibinger-Miedl joining us now, the Regional Minister of the Federal State of Styria. Welcome on stage, Barbara.
Good morning, everybody, and a warm welcome to the EBSCON, and especially a warm welcome to all our international guests here in Styria, the so-called Green Heart of Austria. As Federal Minister for Economy, Science and Research, I'm really glad that the EBSCON once more takes place here in Graz, because it gives us the opportunity to underline once more the position of Graz and Southern Austria in this context. Because Southern Austria is one of the most important semiconductor regions in the European Union. And during the last years, we have been building together with Carinthia really an outstanding ecosystem with our SILICON ALPS Cluster that includes 140 partners, with our SILICON Austria Labs, research and development institution, and all the universities. And the key factor for our success is definitely collaboration. The collaboration between our universities and the private-run companies. But we also collaborate across borders, and I think this is the second most important key factor for our success. We really collaborate with Carinthia very successfully. Especially this cluster, who was built 8 years ago, is a best practice for collaboration across borders. And I think this collaboration across borders will become even more important, because in about 1 year, the new railway track called Koralmbahn will be finished, and then it will be possible to commute between Graz and Klagenfurt, the capitals of Styria and Carinthia, in 45 minutes. And ladies and gentlemen, that will change a lot. We are really sure that Styria and Carinthia will grow together to one common economic area. I think this is an extremely big chance for both federal states. And the Styrian government as well as the Carinthian government work strongly together to bring common projects and common initiatives on the way, because we want a win-win situation for both federal states, for Styria and Carinthia. And I'm convinced that the microelectronic sector, the semiconductor industry, will be one of the winners of this new common economic area that we will have in about 1 or 2 years. But besides that, we also need support. We need support from the federal ministry. We need support from the new government in Vienna. And we also need support from the European level. I think the European Chips Act that Mr. Wiesmüller already mentioned is a good instrument for that. But we also have to do our tasks here in Austria. We need better framework conditions for our industry. We need a strong focus on research, development, and innovation, also in the next years. And we need a clear commitment to microelectronics as a field of strength, as a core competence here in Austria. So I'm sure that together with my dear colleague Gaby Schaunig from Carinthia, we will have a loud voice in Vienna to have a good new program of the next government where this field will have really much importance. So that's what we can do, ladies and gentlemen, but the most important people are you. We need your commitment, we need your engagement, and I would like to thank you for your work. I would like to thank you for being here today, because the EBSCON is also a good place for networking, for finding new projects, to learn to know each other. And so finally, I would like to say thank you to Robert Frere and the entire team of the SILICON ALPS Cluster for organizing this event. Have fun and stay curious.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Michael. Thank you very much, Barbara. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much. I kindly ask you, over there we have something prepared for you. There you go. And we've also already had Gaby Schaunig mentioned. She would love to be here, however, she can't be here, and therefore she's prepared a video to get you into the right state of mind as well and to greet you. In this sense, the Deputy Governor of Carinthia, here is Gaby Schaunig.
Dear Barbara, dear Dr. Quera and team of the SILICON ALPS Cluster, dear partners and participants. My 3 favorite words are curiosity, opportunity, and possibility. I really like this quote of Mario Testino, because if you are curious, you can develop opportunities. And then, if a door opens, you can create possibilities. I hope I have aroused your curiosity what is behind this door. It is the meeting room of the Carinthian federal government. It's one of the rooms where new things are made possible. It's one of the rooms where we create new possibilities and new opportunities. We support and encourage the curiosity of researchers, entrepreneurs, and employees by assisting and funding their activities, and in many cases together with the Styria, such in the SILICON ALPS Cluster, the SILICON Austrian Labs, Ioneum Research, the European Semiconductor Regions Alliance, the Green Tech Cluster, and in our joint government meetings, where we want to further develop our regions with a positive view to the future, with curiosity and the creation of new opportunities. In order to facilitate and deepen such cooperations, we need platforms for exchange and encounters, such as created by the EBSCON. Unfortunately, I'm not able to attend this year's conference in person, as I have a meeting with the Carinthian state government in this room at the same time. I wish you an exciting and inspiring conference, and stay curious.
And I bet she felt that applause as well. So that's a beautiful way also to end this with the words, stay curious.